fanfare. Best Male Actor Finals. Who you got? Robert De Niro or Tom Hanks? We're gonna tell you who won our first bracket. This is Chris. I'm Matt. Best Male Actor. It's time to wrap it up. Aww. But what I thought would be cool is to kind of do a bit of a retrospective and look back at the bracket and just kind of throw up images of each region so everybody can see how we got here. If this is your first time tuning in, you might have missed some of the matchups. You might not know who was in this bracket, and you might see, oh, Matt and Chris talked about this. Let me go back and find that one because it's my favorite actor, Edward Norton.
And if you are here for the first time, like, share, subscribe. What are you doing?
Yeah, that's what you're supposed to do for like literally every video you ever watch. So the least you could do is do it for ours too, right?
And if you don't want to, don't. Who cares?
But we will find you.
Yeah.
So yeah, let's just take a look back at how we got to this matchup for Robert De Niro and Tom Hanks. We're gonna throw some images up here so you can see kind of how the bracket played out. We had 64. Those will be the sound effects that we won't have access to, so we'll make them with our mouths. Boom, boom, bing, bing, bam, bam. We had 64 actors in this bracket. There's a lot of great ones we had to cut out. We've talked about before, there was some behind the scenes like play-ins where some surprising actors made it and some got left out. Mm-hmm. We can always run these brackets back if something changes in the next 2 years and like Tom Holland is the best actor in the world and Miles Teller and people like Tom Holland or Miles Teller, who you got, we'll run it back and we'll just take out Casey Affleck. He never needs to be in another bracket again.
He's so good, but
he's good.
He got pulverized.
Yeah,
in the first
that was
round.
the first like real blowout we saw, and we've since we started doing wrestling, there's been some other blowouts like that too.
Yeah,
because I think those are a little bit more clear cut. Actors are like, it's very subjective, and there's a limit in movies that you can see in your lifetime. So, but yeah, Casey Affleck was the first one that just got steamrolled. Anyway, yeah, we're gonna look back at these regions and just kind of look at matchups. That first region that we did was we'll call it the Leo region because he's the 1 seed, and so it ended up being Leo who did advance and came away from this region to the final 4. We had some really great other actors in this one.
Yeah.
What were some of your most notable things? What was your favorite video to do for this one?
Ooh, yeah. Well, I think the worst actor from this region is probably Edward Norton. I'm just kidding. That's Matt's guy. My favorite one was probably Liam Neeson versus Edward Norton in the first round.
Really?
Because, well, it is where we got to see Matt in his true form.
I'm a very big Edward Norton fan. Obviously, I voted for Edward Norton. Edward Norton is awesome. Edward Norton is 5 times, I'm not gonna say it 3 more times, the actor that Liam Neeson is.
That's always my favorite one, is when we get to see Matt steamed up, or even when I get steamed up at Robin Williams making it to the Final 4, which he has no business doing. He shouldn't even gotten out of the first round because Michael Keaton is a better actor. Anyways.
Well, we'll get to look at that region and you can relive that moment.
I know, teasing. So I think of all the regions, so think of a bracket, maybe we could throw it up, maybe not, maybe just, think of one. In the Sweet 16, this one had my favorite 4 actors. Leo faced off against Philip Seymour Hoffman, which I will say I was very, very pleased that Philip Seymour Hoffman made it this far. I was a little worried because he's one of my personal favorites. Yeah. I was a little worried not enough people were going to know about him. So it was Leo, Philip Seymour Hoffman, Christian Bale, and Daniel Day-Lewis. So those 4 actors were probably my personal favorites of any of the other Sweet 16s. And yeah, I think in terms of this region specifically, another match I really liked, which we got some good feedback on, it was when we were in our infantile stage. We were just babies. We talked about maybe running it back. Well, we could do that with any of these because when we first started off, we start all of our social medias at 0. Like, we were literally at 0. So the first matchup we ever ran was Leo versus Mark Wahlberg. In fact, we were so new, we had to literally go out to the mall and bug strangers. And who was the better actor between number 1 seed Leonardo DiCaprio versus number 16 seed Mark Wahlberg? And Adonis said,
Yeah.
who is the better actor, Leonardo DiCaprio or Mark Wahlberg? And they both said,
Mark Wahlberg.
Leonardo DiCaprio versus Mark Wahlberg. Who's the better actor? So we're gonna go one by one and just answer Mark Wahlberg or Leo.
Leo. I'm gonna say Leo. I'm gonna say Leo as well. Mark Wahlberg.
Wahlberg. Wahlberg for sure.
So this region was a really awesome one. Some really great actors vying for that Final Four spot. And then it was Leo who ended up in the Final Four before he bowed out to Tom Hanks, who's in our final. And so we can take a look at how Tom Hanks got here. This is kind of the Tom Hanks region. This one had a couple of our bigger upsets. Sadly for us, I like Matthew McConaughey. I think you like Matthew McConaughey too, but we're
He's
huge
alright,
Jim
alright.
Carrey fans.
Mm-hmm.
And I will go out and say I don't think Jim Carrey was necessarily overseeded as a 3, maybe as a 3. But I think Jim Carrey's phenomenal, comedic icon, and even in his serious roles, I think he's very good. If Robin Williams can go to the Final Four because he's known as a comic but had some good serious roles, why can't Jim Carrey? I'll take Truman Show over any of Robin Williams' serious roles in serious movies. Were there any other like favorite videos that we did for any of these, or favorite matchups, surprises?
Yeah, well, to be the most topical, I recently saw today actually, Ben Stiller came out and there were rumors that he apologized for how controversial Tropic Thunder is. And he came out and he was just like, I never apologized. Sure, it's controversial, but I ain't apologizing for it. And we need more of that because it's a movie and it's fantastic. Find me one person that doesn't like that film.
Yeah, exactly. You know, there were times when I was doing Jack that I actually felt retarded, like really retarded. Oh, yeah. I mean, I brushed my teeth retarded. I rode bus retarded.
Damn.
It's what we do, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hats off for going there.
If you look at this region, you'll notice the 8 versus 9 matchup in the first round is Bruce Willis versus Nicolas Cage. This is where there's a little backstory there, because before we decided we were going to roll this out and make 6 wins a thing, we were doing these types of matchups in our group chat. And in order for Nick Cage and Bruce Willis to even get into the tournament, we had some playing games, and we made it like the best of the action stars, because we wanted some action hero representation here. Say what you will about the acting skills of Schwarzenegger, but you can't deny his impact on film and action films. Anyways, so in order to get in, Bruce Willis had to beat like Schwarzenegger, Sylvester Stallone, I think Jason Statham, and maybe 1 or 2 other ones, and then Nick Cage had to beat Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, Jackie Chan, I think Harrison Ford, and maybe Jet Li, and maybe Vin Diesel. I don't remember the exact names, but what I was hoping for was we were going to get to see Schwarzenegger versus Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. You know, I feel like Schwarzenegger was the biggest action star of like the 80s and 90s. Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson has kind of taken the ball and ran with it and passed, but we ended up with this one, so that was a good one.
And maybe we can finagle a bracket where it is just like best action star or something, or you know, like that. So who knows, and just get that matchup.
I like that.
But yeah, the only other notable things about this, like I said, Tom Hanks did end up coming out of this region. That's why he's here. He beat Denzel in a real tight battle for that Final Four spot, and then beat Leo too to move on. We also had our first bet.
I have Denzel.
Yeah.
You
I'll
have
take
Steve
Steve Carell.
And whoever the voters have move on, if your pick loses, you have to go out and do some sort of embarrassing thing.
I was wrong. It wasn't very close. And so I did have to do kind of like, had a consequence for losing. There's like the loser has to do something. I had to call a restaurant and kind of keep them on the line and have them basically do like a bracket without their knowledge of like their best food items.
Chicken lettuce wraps is one of our most famous appetizers.
Spare ribs or like hot and sour soup.
It's definitely heavy on like the soup.
Okay.
But I would definitely go with the pad thai because it's got really complex flavors.
Would you
would you recommend like the hot and sour soup? I just want to figure out like what you think is maybe like the best thing to get.
Yeah, it's probably my favorite. Of all of them, just because like the sauce is our Mongolian beef.
Thank you so much. It sounds like Mongolian beef is the winner.
Yeah. And then last thing notable
Yeah.
here, James Gandolfini. I do think if we were to run a bracket back, because this was still early, like we said, we started from 0, and so this is probably a week or so, maybe about 2 weeks into our polling on social media. James Gandolfini of Sopranos fame lost to Michael Caine, and I know Chris was kind of happy about that because he's not the biggest Sopranos fan.
Right.
But
And I got to like really polish off my Michael Caine impression. I don't think you need to work on your impression of Michael Caine.
Still top notch. But yeah, that was something that I think was surprising. Would probably be more surprising to people other than us who I haven't seen The Sopranos and you were like, I can't get into it, and that's all James Gandolfini is really known for. All right. Well, we're gonna run and just look at the other 2 regions to see how we got here. This one was the Jack Nicholson region, although we should be calling it the Robin Williams region because that's who ended up winning it. The only region that did not have the 1 seed come out. Most of this region was spent talking about Robin Williams because otherwise, like, there's some good actors here, but I think compared to the other regions, like Morgan Freeman, Bryan Cranston, Robin Williams, Jack Nicholson. Jack Nicholson is a top tier, but those other 3 I don't think, I would put in the same regard as some of the other ones. So that might have been how Robin Williams got here, but he did have to have that upset over Jack Nicholson. Anything else that you really enjoyed or were really mad about in this region?
Yeah, I would say as good as all these actors are, out of the 4 regions, it's probably the weakest. This is one region where, like, really for me, I was pulling for 2 people. Michael Keaton and Bryan Cranston. Keaton specifically because Multiplicity is so awesome.
What were you doing in bed with Laura? What? Nothing. Doug, we were watching TV, and Laura said she was sleepy and wanted to go to bed. So what was I going to say? I'm going to go and sleep over the garage? Whoa, wait a minute. What do you mean she wanted to go to bed? What do you mean? What do you mean? What do I mean? You know what I mean. What do you mean? Did you have sex with my wife? No! Did you? No! Douglas, no! I certainly did not. Look, here was the plan. I thought, well, we'll go to bed together, which we did, and when she'd fall asleep, I'd sneak out, but I guess I dozed off, and nothing happened, Doug. Nothing happened. She did, I think, roll over kind of and brush me in that general region, but I didn't brush you. I mumbled out of there, Doug. I brushed you in the general region. She shouldn't even be in the neighborhood. Doug, he mumbled out right out of the region.
If you haven't seen Multiplicity, go watch it. It's hilarious. It's held up really well. And then Bryan Cranston, Breaking Bad is my favorite show of all time. I'm literally watching it right now. My wife and I think, are episode 4 into the final season. So it's really cooking, no pun intended. But yeah, Cranston and Keaton are my picks, but neither of them really made it that far.
But Cranston did well.
Yeah, Cranston made Sweet 16, but
I mean, he
lost.
pulled an upset, Well,
he beat Russell Crowe.
Well, he beat Russell. I guess that wasn't an upset. Well, yeah. Well, it wasn't an upset because Russell Crowe pulled the upset over Marlon Brando. But for Bryan Cranston as a 7th seed to make it to the Sweet 16, bit of a surprise. He wasn't the highest seed out of those 4 guys that could have been there. I think, and unfortunately Keaton didn't do as well as you wanted him, or even I wanted him to. My favorite thing from this, I'll just touch on this really quick, is that I'm taking so much more time than I thought I was going to, but who knows, who knew looking back at your greatest hits of 2 months would make you elevate yourself so much, but wow, we're so awesome. But God, I loved the Will Smith-Jake Gyllenhaal matchup, and getting to talk about the Jake Gyllenhaal Prada fragrance commercial, and getting to add that clip in a video. So that is probably my highlight from this region. I had so much fun doing it. I loved it. I thought it might have been a joke nobody else cares about, but I love it. And it's not a joke, it's serious. I own the fragrance. Hello! To prove this is not a bit, yes, I own the Prada fragrance that Jake Gyllenhaal is a commercial in. Luna Rosa Ocean. All right, we're gonna look at the last region just to see how Robert De Niro got to the finals because he had to overcome the winner of that previous region, Robin Williams. He did. With the Battle of our Robs, Robert De Niro, the 1 seed from here, was able to win all of his matchups and face off against Tom Hanks in our finals. Here's our region. I'll kick us off, and then I won't also end us and sandwich and be like, I'll start and then I'll finish. My favorite thing was getting hyped about Joaquin Phoenix. You know, we always have to do research and kind of stuff as we're editing our videos and doing posts. Joaquin. He's also an onomatopoeia now, officially. I sent it into Merriam-Webster, and they said, yeah, that's perfect. Cool. But yeah, I think my favorite part of this region was realizing how awesome Joaquin Phoenix is and how many of his movies that I've seen where I think his performance is tremendous. I also love Tom Cruise. I'm glad he beat over Brad Pitt. I'm glad he won over Brad Pitt. Because I think Tom Cruise is a better actor. I think he's amazing. And this region also had an actor that I maybe was the most critical of, Clint Eastwood. I'm still not sold on his talent as an actor, but I think I'll just let it die there because I think the people that really like him are very fervent in their passion, and I don't want them coming after me.
Cool. Nothing really to add. I think my favorite matchup of this region was Keanu Reeves versus Matt Damon. And it was the biggest upset for me because we were talking as we were leading up to it was Keanu Reeves. People love Keanu Reeves like they love Robin Williams. People love Keanu Reeves like they love Morgan Freeman. He didn't quite show up because Matt Damon, who perhaps is the better actor, maybe we were putting too many eggs into the Keanu basket. But yeah, that and just seeing you run with the whole Joaquin train, I hopped on in the Sweet 16, and he did pretty well.
Yeah.
For himself. So
that's where we were. And this is where we are. That makes a lot of sense when you actually think about it. But that's where we came from, and here we are now with Tom Hanks having overcome all of his matchups and winning, even beating Leo in the Final Four, and Robert De Niro coming out of his region and stopping what we thought might have been the unstoppable Robin Williams train. And so we asked everyone, we asked ourselves, we asked spirits and performed seances. Who's the better actor between Tom Hanks and Robert De Niro? Before we reveal the winner, do you want to say who you voted for, would vote for, wanted to win, anything like that?
Yeah, real quick, and I know we're going long. If we want to keep it cool, if we want to chop some out, we'll just... Here,
Joaquin! Oh, that was bad. I missed completely. One more.
That's good.
It's a better one.
All right, so 2 things on Tom Hanks. I lied. 1 thing on Tom Hanks. 1 thing that has nothing to do with anything. I did watch a recent Tom Hanks movie.
Yeah.
Elvis. He doesn't play Elvis, although that would have been something to see. He played the manager, and he was wearing like a fat suit the whole time, and he did great in it. It was a really, really good biopic, and it made me really want to go back and watch like Bohemian Rhapsody, which I've never seen.
I haven't either.
It was up there. Like I thought it was better. The Elton John one was really good. Rocket Man.
Oh yeah.
I thought this was better. For me, it really like humanized Elvis, and I'm a fan. But here's the funny thing about Elvis. Like, imagine like picture Elvis just like walking around doing like just day-to-day mundane activities, like going to a restaurant, you know, like, hey man, I just for no mail in my sandwich. Like, going to a bank, Elvis, like, yeah, hey man, I just need to make a deposit. Like, what do you mean my account's frozen, man?
That's good. I like that. It should be a character.
I think
you should run with that. Elvis in daily situations.
Elvis in daily situations needs to be like, or just walking his dog, like, hey man, I'm gonna take a poop right here on the ground, man.
Yeah, somebody comes up and is like, you need to clean that up, or else they're gonna get fined.
Yeah. Hey man, I'm gonna clean up after my dog. What are you saying? How you ain't nothing but a hound dog.
Exactly. I would love it. So that was your Tom Hanks thought.
That was my Tom Hanks thought.
Well, I mean, it was along the lines. So, who would you vote for best actor?
Give me Tom Hanks.
Give me Tom Hanks.
Yes.
I'm all about Tom Hanks too. I think he's going to be, if not already, a just iconic American actor, and has passed the test of time. Where I also don't think we'll like look back and go, oh yeah, he really wasn't that good. I think we'll all just come to appreciate him. So I would have gone Tom Hanks. You would have gone Tom Hanks. The moment is here. Who is our best male actor? Who won our bracket? Tom Hanks or Robert De Niro? Who is equally as deserving?
The winner of the best male actor bracket was Tom Hanks. Congratulations, Tom Hanks. This was our biggest voting yet. We got over 500 votes across all social media. There's our check for you, Tom Hanks. You won $10.
Yep.
We don't have Mr. Beast budget. We just have 6 Wins budget, which is 0. So this is coming out of our pockets. Tom Hanks, come on down, collect your check. I don't have anything else to add. Do you?
Thank you everyone for voting and taking part in this first bracket. Like you said, our numbers of like engagement and votes have gone up drastically, and it's so fun seeing votes, seeing comments. We're gonna keep doing it. Please keep doing it. Let us know other brackets you want to see, any other suggestions or comments to make our channel better. Do you want to see more of Chris and I? Do you want to see less of Chris and I? The second one we can't really do, but you can make it known, and then, I don't know, we'll have me hold up a check in front of my face more often.
Yeah, and I'll just hold up my mug.
All right, well that was the best male actor bracket. Tom Hanks is the winner. Thank you for participating in this whole thing, and we'll see you in another bracket.